Hey everybody, it's Cindy over paper.old.new. Thanks for stopping by. We're cleaning again. Like, going through. I'm going through another bin, guys. This one's kind of spontaneous just because I don't know that there's going to be a lot in here that I'm not going to keep. But in the same token, I wanted to remind you guys, these are probably becoming some of my favorite pocket page decorating ideas, is to do this kind of layered pocket thing. So, we made a bunch of these on camera. I did a whole video on different ways to layer your pieces. There's all different ways to do this. You can make them tall, you can make them short, you can give them extra stuff, just all kinds of ways to do this. So I made a bunch of those and I've got those and I'm definitely keeping them. There are some things like this is one of those. Okay, this is what I was talking about doing with these. I showed you one of these when we were going through one of the other ones with the finished ephemera where I had decorated it up. And I showed you that I stuck originally this was one of Tina's mass makes, these little pouch pockets, I'm pretty sure. And what I did was in between the two folded spots, I glued a strip. So you can see how it S-curves when you pull out on the pouch. You can pull out on it and it kind of buckles or whatever. So what my thought was, I want to show you what I wanted to do with these. Okay, so I have all of these whale tail bunches, right? Well, I have these really big ones, like this. And what I thought it would be really neat to do would be to take one of these and glue it on this. So you glue it on here like this, and then when you want something to go in this pocket, you just slide it either under or over this piece, and that will get it on the side of the thing you want it to be on, if that makes sense. I know. But let's see, we'll give this a shot. I probably shouldn't work over the whole bin, but... So how is everybody? I know it's been a little while. We're working toward the end of the school year, though. I'm kind of excited about that. We'll say this, all the kids that I serve lunch to, because I served lunch in the elementary school, I've told you guys before. All the kids I serve lunch to, they know it's getting close to the end of the year, too. Oh my gosh, they're like crazy people. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Okay, we're going to try and stick this on here. My fan's on. I might have to turn that off if I'm going to be gluing things. But what we're going to try and do is stick this on this flat. And I don't necessarily want it centered, like in the center of the divider or anything. I would like it to be relatively straight. And then we're going to put this side down. And then we pinch the whole thing together. And then it's not straight. Okay, that's a little better. Yes? No? Maybe? So we pinch that together like that. And then the flap has this. And then all I do is if I want, I stick it under to go on one side and I stick it over this to go on the other side. And then when you pull it open, they're divided. They're on the opposite sides of the divider. See that? So that way I don't have to pull and worry about that S stripe thing. And then this can continue to be decorated up. And that actually worked pretty good. So I really like that idea. If we find any more of those, I may add things to them. Oh, lordy, what did I do here? Okay, it looks like I glued some paper to the inside of this, and then it's a pocket, and it flips up. And I guess you could write on this if you wanted to. I'm looking at this now, and I regret gluing that on there because I don't like it on this paper, but I suppose I could use the blues and purples to decorate the outside of this. I would use this in a book as a pocket, so I would glue it down as a pocket, and then you could flip it up and have... Okay, here's another one of these. Let's see if we can find something fall-ish. So how's everybody doing? That's not exactly fall. The colors go, but not exactly what I'm looking for. Oh, that might work. What about that? How's everybody doing? I mean, is anybody else... I don't know. You have kids in school. Is it coming to the end of the year? What are you guys up to? like I said, we're coming to the end of the year, and the elementary school kids are getting crazy. It's like nuts how crazy they're getting. But I wanted to come on and continue our cleaning out. I have not cleaned out a lot, but I've been trying to make headway. I might do that. So that I can get some rearranging done. I have some built-ins downstairs where my office and my desk and everything are. And just for storage purposes, I've been clearing the built-ins off to see, like getting rid of stuff and, books I've already read, stuff I can give away, anything like that. And what I'm doing is seeing if there's anything I can store, anything that's long-term that doesn't need to be up here for easy access. I'm checking to see if there's anything I could move downstairs onto those shelves for storage purposes. And then if I'm downstairs doing something and I decide I want to come up here to my craft area, I just have to think about what I want to do in my craft area and bring the stuff with me. Anything that I've got stored down there that I need, I just have to remember to bring it with me. So, okay, these were pockets that I bought. So you might remember these from one of my Ollie's hauls. So I'm not going to do anything about these right now. These would just need decorating and sticking in something. I wouldn't necessarily do anything with these. The only other thing I might do with them is hinge them in so that they can flip out, and then you could write on the back of the pocket and flip it over and write on the front with, dates and stuff like that. So that would be the only other idea I would have for those, but they're not going anywhere. Oh, and here's my tags. I love these. The tag pocket. This is meant as a tuck. So I like those kind of like these layered ones. It's just a different version of this layered thing. So I like those because they lay flat and they decorate the page. These I like if I remember how to make them correctly. So you create this. It's a double pocket. And there's a middle here that you can sew it in with. Okay, this one is made out of wallpaper and a coloring book page, which I painted with watercolors. I'm pretty sure I used my watercolors on that. So it would get sewn in. And I like these. This is definitely one that I like. Here's another version of it with old paper. And this reminded me of like old Victorian wallpaper deal, so I kind of thought they went together, but I like this whole idea. Here's another one. This was also a Roxy's weekly challenge, but you make the little pocket here, and you use this as a pocket, and you make it uneven, so this gets glued. And when you do this one, I didn't put glue all the way to the edge. When you do this side, so this side gets split. It has a piece of this paper on. Made a bunch of these. Double pocket signature page. Okay, apparently I had them all together. I decided to use these old. Oh, here's one where you made it uneven. I kind of like that because this is a pocket, but this one is tall. And I just cut the extra paper off. And you can still sew that in. I mean, you just only have that much to sew. Yeah, I like those. This is one of those. Oh, this is a jar pocket. But I made it with a tube. So you can stick something in the jar. And then you can stick something in the front of the jar. Huh. Turned out kind of cute. I think whenever I would do the Tina's mass makes and stuff like that, I would get so into it, and I was like, oh, we're going to make as many as we can. We're going to mass make, and we're going to have all this stuff. And now I've done it, and I'm like, I think it was a mistake for me. I don't work that way. So now I've got all this stuff, and I'm not really sure what to do with it, which is why I want to do those eclectic journals where we just kind of take stuff and throw it together and see what we get. Yeah, This has got old wallpaper on it. This is a pocket up top. Sorry, a tuck up top and a tuck down here. Oh, and a pocket on the side. Oh. Okay. Interesting. All decorated. Goes in the done pile. This one I think is also decorated. Although I don't know that it's fully decorated because I'm not sure that I would want this Brothers Grimm on here, so I would definitely end up doing something with that. But other than that, these are decorated. That's not so bad. Wait, see, I've made these, but I haven't actually put them in a book and tried to fill them yet. Okay. Put those down there in the done pile. This is made out of wallpaper reinforced with book page. It's just a pocket. Just a plain, ordinary, everyday pocket. Okay, this is just from the Little Red Hen. Although, I do have a Little Red Hen golden book. So I'm wondering if I should hold on to this for that. I'm going to set this up here. And the only reason I'm doing that is because if I find the Little Red Hen golden book, I'm going to put that in it. I have something I'm putting together that some of this stuff might go with. Okay, we'll hold on to those. I'm going to end up throwing all this back in here once we get through it all. Okay, these are the ones I'm not... Ooh, this one's not glued. So, this is a lot. These were really cool, so I made a bunch of them. Did I glue this one? I did not. Is this one glued? This one appears to be glued somewhere. Oh, down this side. Okay, so that's glued. So this is what it is. Now this is made out of a heavier paper, but not a card. This is made out of cardstock, so it feels a little bulkier. Same with that one. This one is made out of a lighter weight cardstock, but it's still cardstock. Also, it's glued, so that one's done. Did I glue this one? No, I didn't. Okay, this is single-sided paper. So this, I think I left like this because I can still do something about these pockets, this white. So these are definitely unfinished. They can also be cut apart. I mean, so if I cut this out, you've got all of these pieces that have angled sides and you can just make that a pocket. So like if you don't want to use the layered pocket, you can cut it apart. This one's glued, so that's done. This one's glued. This one's glued. So I glued most of them. Now, do you hear the disappointment in my voice? I was kind of hoping. Because what I did find out with one of these is that it's very interesting if you reverse it. But then it's not quite so... Oh, wait. Lose a pocket. Lost a whole pocket when I did it that time. I feel like the time I did it before, I didn't lose a whole pocket. Maybe I did it this way first? I might have. And then... Yeah. And then you get these three pockets, and then this one's just a single pocket. And you can put this... This is one of those wrap around the page things. Or sew it in. You could sew it in. I would prefer to sew them in than wrap them around the outside of a page. So that's why I like the fact that it's not glued together, though, is because I can change the folding on it. Oh, gosh, here's more of these. Are these the ones that unfold? Yes. Well, at least that far. Okay, I don't think I'm going to use these as they are, but they are glued, so I am going to have to modify and use them. We're going to pull all these open, because I did glue their bottoms down. I'm going to pull all these open, and we're going to decide what to do with these, because I don't want these. I don't like this pocket. I'm not going to use this pocket. No, here's another one of these, and this one's apparently been glued. Now, if you remember correctly, I took these apart. Let's move this out of the way, and I'll probably drop a bunch of stuff back in it. Okay, so as you can see, I cleared the bin. There were some highlights for what was in the pocket bin. There's a ton of stuff in there. I didn't drag you through all of it, but we are going to now take some of the stuff that I found in the bins, like the ones where I untucked the pockets, and we're going to see if we can do some modifications to a few of these, and I'll show you what my thoughts are. Just for, like this is one of these. So I did pull it apart. You can see here there's glue mark, or, a spot where you can see the torn paper. It might not be on that one. Okay, it's mostly on this one. And the idea behind this would be to keep the folders or the pockets how they are. Okay, and so I've done that with this one. So all I did was I peeled the pocket. We're going to peel this away. I feel like some of them get glued better than others. Okay, so we're going to peel that away. And then all I did was I took my ruler and I cut this. Okay, so I'm just going to cut a sliver off of it. I suppose if you wanted to make them really short, you could cut all of that torn paper off the bottom for what we're going to do here. But I want them to be as tall as possible because I'm going to show you what I thought might be kind of an interesting way to use these. I'm always looking for new ways to layer pockets, guys. You know me. But I thought this would be an interesting way to use these and repurpose these. Okay, so we have those two. And you can cover up. Oh, no, it folds this way. I got scared there for a minute. Okay, and you can cover up the glue at the bottom on the one if you just fold over the other side. So we're going to refold this a little bit because it seems to be landing in that crease a little too much. And then we're going to pull this in and we're going to fold it over and we'll refold this side a little bit. Is it a little off up at the top? Yeah. Whatever. Okay, and then this one's off at the top too. And we're going to make sure these are lined up straight. When I cut these apart, for some reason, the way it had been tucked up with all that paper in there, these folds needed redoing. So I will say that they're going to require redoing on the fold. So that's two of them. We had a few, so let's see if we can't. Oh, I had more than I thought. Okay. So we're just going to go in here and we're going to try and separate all of them. Okay. Little dwarves. Now folding this with directional paper, some of your dwarves are upside down on this. So I'm hoping that maybe we can solve the upside down dwarf problem, but I'm not sure. Okay. So now we're going to go through and we're going to cut them all free. I buried my knife. Okay, and this is just, a way to rethink pockets that, I made them because I was in the middle of a project, but I don't necessarily want to keep them. I've decided that I don't like the way these are, or I don't like something about them. They're not my taste. They're not my thing. And we're all obviously different, which is what makes this great because everybody's creations are different. And, and while I may have made this from somebody else's idea, it's now given me a new idea. And that's the other great thing about a crafting community like this is you do something and somebody else uses what you did as inspiration and makes something different. I love that. Anyway, okay. Last one. Okay. And what these are going to turn into is a different kind of, like, a different kind of pocket, sort of. I don't want to give it away too soon. So let's get all the pieces made, and then I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay. Now, so let's refold. This one's got to go in this way. That's the other thing is for these single-sided papers, we're going to have to find stuff to go in that white. So need to do this the other way. It does make a difference, I have noticed, as I've been refolding these. The one that goes on the bottom needs to be refolded on the bottom, and the one that goes, see, that's not lined up anymore, but I just finished lining that up with the bottom. So, okay, and then we'll keep them together. So I don't think this one has any glue. And you'll notice one side doesn't meet. That had to do with the way they were folded and push out and all that kind of stuff. So just, if you want, you can fold over the one that goes all the way to the edge and make that your top piece. That way your pocket goes all the way over. Okay, so that's another one. I was about to ask you how you were doing. I am filming this separately from the sorting that we just did, or that you just saw. I actually did that for me yesterday, and then decided I was going to sort that video and make it shorter. And add this onto the end because I thought this was a little bit more productive. We'll see if that's true. I'm making promises, but I'm hoping. Okay. Okay, now the next idea is going to be for me to go in my scrap drawer and see, okay, are my boards right side up? Those ones are. Are these ones? No, these ones are upside down. No matter how I do this, they're upside down. So for this one, since it's directional paper, we're going to use the center of this to cover this. That will be how we get our piece for this one. And we'll do that in just a minute. I want to get all of these folded down. So this one's only going to have the one. So this is just going to be a pocket. And I say that you'll understand what I mean in a minute. But this is just going to be that one's just going to be a pocket. Okay. That's pretty good. And then this one, oops. Okay, this one's got the glue at the bottom, so we'll put it on the bottom. And then we'll fold this one over. Okay. That's everything we fold. Oh, this one's directional too. Okay, so we might do the same thing with both of these. Yeah, okay. So these two are going to get done differently than these. All right. And then the same idea can apply to the same idea that I wanted to do with these can also apply to these. So we're going to cut these at their fold. And I'm going to go ahead and get these ready because we're going to do something similar with them. Okay, so that's those two. Lay them off to the side. And we're going to do this with, we're going to cut these two free. And now this one doesn't have anything covering the white, so we might have to try and find some way to do that. Although that doesn't open, so I would have to find a way to do it by sliding something down in there. So we'll have to see. But having said that, now, what I want to do with these, give me a second to find some scrap paper that kind of goes with these, and we're going to try and fill in the middles. And fill in the middles means we're going to do something similar to this. Let's go ahead and do these ones that are, I know I'm all over the place. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do this. Just give me a second. Okay, so we're going to take this off of here. Okay, and this you could always use, I mean, because it's directional. It's well reinforced. Let me see what cuts off if I get rid of this. I'm trimming up all of the uneven spots and making this just one folded triangle. So as you can probably imagine, I'm going for the corner tuck idea. Now this is right side up, but there's not a lot, there's a lot of, that's right side up if you do it that way, and you've got this little girl dwarf in the center there. That's probably how I would use it. So you could use this as a corner up tuck. Okay. I'm going to have to just throw that down here in the pocket bin down next to me. And we're going to cut this one off. I'm going to turn it around. Because this is the way I cut, so. I'm just following the fold line. I'm not. I'm going to put this off to the side and I'll trim that up later. Okay, so now I have this piece that's right side up that I can stick in here to fill in my pockets. And I can even stick it a little high because remember, I only need it to cover where the pockets aren't going to. Okay, so it would look like that. And I don't need it to be all the way down, so I can trim off this part where the glue was stuck. So we're just going to glue this down on here. With a gap at the bottom. Like so. Between the folds. And this will fill in our white and kind of reinforce this. So that if you wanted to glue it down as a pocket with like a pocket back there, this is now reinforced back here and you don't have to worry about it being too flimsy to be a pocket. Well, or maybe I'm the only one that worries about that. I don't know. Okay. And then we're going to, let me see if either side, which side do I want to do this? I honestly think I like it better that way, even though, okay, so we're going to fold this side down first. And I just want a thin bead. Not that this bottle gives me a thin bead. I really need to get myself a better tip to work with for pockets. Okay. And then we fold this one down and we have our pocket. Right, like that. All right. So there's our little dwarf pocket and we fixed the inside, and then you would just cut this part off with the glue, and you've gotten rid of that torn area, and there you go. Okay, so that's one, and you see how I did that. Give me a minute to find at least one piece that I can show you what I want to do with these, and I probably won't do all 4 of them since we already went through the pockets, but let me see what scrap paper I find, and we'll do the one that I find paper for. Hold on. Okay, I found this in my scrap bin, and I think I can get pieces to use with this out of it. One there and one there. Okay, so basically what I need to do is we need to see how wide this center area is. It's about 4 inches. So let's cut this to 4 inches. This looks like it's 5 inches, so we're going to cut 1 inch off of it. Right along that red line, actually. Okay. All right, so 4 inches wide. Now I'm going to cut this side of this fold. Okay, and we're going to put a piece in the middle here. Okay, and I'm going to let it sit up a little high, just because I don't necessarily want that curved spot. See how I rounded this corner? I was going to use this for something else. I rounded that corner. And then this will go over like that, and I think that'll be cute. Add a little bit of color, go in with the stripe pattern of the popcorn. Okay. And I'm just going to do this one. Unless we need another one done for something that I come up with while I'm half baking in here. I feel like that's the way all these plans come to my head. I'm sitting here and I look at this paper and I go, oh, wait, you know what I could do with that? Very spontaneous. And once my brain gets off on a tangent, I have to let it play out or I can't concentrate, kind of. It's like, which is why you'll see the like pauses that I make in videos, or for you, they might be cut spots, edit spots, because I might edit out my random thought processes. Okay, so this one goes down first. We'll get this one done, and then we'll get the other one done. It's taking longer than I thought. But at least now we're doing things instead of just sorting things. And this is all part of cleanup, because this is me using my mess, which, you know what's nice about me doing these pockets? Is I actually just pulled out a stack of, because I told you I was reorganizing and reshelving and doing all that sort of thing. So I just pulled out a stack of little golden books that I wanted to sort into envelopes. If any of you want to see what I do with the little golden books when I try to make the little packets, like I get papers that'll go in that I think match and all that kind of stuff, and I make I put the little golden book into its own little kit, kind of, in a little plastic case envelope thing. And then I put it up on a shelf for when I'm ready to work on it, and it's got a start. It's got like scrapbook paper and, you know, anything else I think that might go in it. And there's a set that are like circus and zoo and that sort of thing that I think this popcorn thing will go in. So I'm kind of glad that this is the one I found paper for. Okay, I really like that. I think that's cute. Okay, so we're going to do the other one. And I am going to cut this off the bottom. And then basically we'll just put it in here and cut off the top. And then my thought for these was we could combine them and make, we're always making stacked pockets and stuff, right? So my thought for these was to make like a little pocket belly band. So instead of it being one little square pocket with lots of pockets in it, because of all the folds and tucks and whatnot, it could be multiple pockets. It just will be also, in my mind, a page decoration. So let's see which way this goes. Okay, we're going to need to nip that because it's getting folded into the crease. Okay, and it'll be covered up because this is my glue. We're going to cover this side up. All right, so let's get glue on here. And I just want a thin line because I'm trying to keep the real estate. My pockets, these pockets aren't huge, so. All right, and then we're going to do this side. And they're not hard to make. And you could even make it, I mean, just take a piece of paper, cut it in half, fold it in thirds, or fold it in thirds and then cut it in half, either way. And then fold the two side corners down and tuck them in to the middle. And it makes this pocket. Now, we're going to cut this off. And we'll have our two pockets, and I'll show you what I meant by stacking them. Now, I will admit I am going to stack these to fit. Oh, no, I need to stack these to fit a little golden book page. So let me get a little golden book as an example. Okay, so I have this little golden book cover for one of the books we're working on. And basically what I would do is to make it fit the page is I'm going to put it here. And then I'm going to put this one here. And we're going to glue it together. Right there. Okay, and then it'll make up, and then you glue it down like this, and you can tuck stuff underneath of it. So it's like a pocket belly band of stacked pockets. I mean, it's not a new concept or anything, but I like this idea of using these pockets better than I like the tucky foldy thing. I love it when we make up words. Oh, my pencil got messed up. Okay, where do I want to put this? I need to mark it so that I get my glue to the right spot. All right, and then we're going to glue it down. And then if you wanted, I don't know that it'll make a difference since you're gluing in along the, I'm going to take the glue off of there. Just so that that stays kind of open and is easier to slide things into. And then we're going to glue this down on here. Okay. And this corner should not be down. So you can still tuck stuff behind there. And then that's your little belly band. Now you have a seam here, but because I'm not putting stuff in against that seam, I think it will be okay to slide stuff in. And I just noticed my popcorn buckets are upside down. So this was also directional paper. But anyway, so this seam will be with what you're sliding in. If you're not comfortable with that, you could take a thin sheet of book page or something and just put it over this, and it'll kind of cover up that seam and get it out of your way. Or you could take a piece of masking tape or something like that. But anyway, so this now makes a band. It's either a side tuck or you could use it as a belly band in the center of the page. And it's got a pocket here and a pocket here and a pocket here and a pocket here. So you've still got your 4 pockets, but you now have it in the shape of a belly band. And I think this is a really cool way to use these. So this is what I will do with all of these. Okay, is we'll make these. Now, it's harder if you don't know what book you're using. This I happen to know I'm going to be putting in a little golden book. So I made sure that I made it this size. You can also stack these. They are big enough. Take that out of there. I have my little circus thing. I'm going to put this behind me with that. Okay. They are big enough, okay, to do like an 8-inch tall. So you would just set it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 would be there. And you've got overlap. You just don't have as much. Okay, so you've still got overlap there. And if you need it to be 8.5, you've still got about 1/4 of an inch, 1/3 of an inch of overlap there. You can still glue those together. And it can still be a stacked pocket for an 8.5-inch page or an 8-inch page. Okay, and you can make it even as small as you need to. So if you needed it for, say, a 7-inch page. Now, I don't know if you can get a 5-inch page out of it. 5-inch page is going to be a little short because the pockets are. But you can get anywhere from a 7 to. Little golden book is just under 7. So, all right. Now for these, you do the same thing. You would glue this on top of here like this. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can't see my finger counting because I'm at the bottom. So here, I'll move up. So I put this here and I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5. It would go right there for a regular 8.5-inch page. Okay. Now, having done this, you could even glue this down as a pocket. So if I wanted to, I could just glue here like this and make this a little pocket in the middle. And then you would have, this pocket and this pocket and this pocket, and you glue it down. So I'm going to hold on to all of these and keep them together. Okay, so that's my thought with taking these apart and making something more my speed, something I would use. Okay, and then I was going to go through these quarter folds with you, but I think, see how I got them folded like this? Basically what I did was I took the original, which looked like this, all right, and I unfolded it. And then what you do is you fold this first, and then you fold this, and you get this shape, and then one back here. All my thought was to take this and cut it free, and then I have separate pockets. I have this to go down as a pocket on its own, and I have this to glue down as a pocket on its own. So I would cut this free. And then I've got 2. Now, this has got white paper that I would have to deal with. These do not. So for this one, it's going to be, let's cut one free and I'll show you what it's going to be. Real quick, because I want to show you what I want to do with some of this other stuff. Trying to find places to use some of the ephemera. Remember, I was telling you I was having trouble with that. So I wanted to show you one of my thoughts. Okay, so if I've cut this free now, I've got this that folds up, and then I would glue it along this edge, and there'd be a pocket here and a pocket here. And then this one that also folds up, and it would just be a pocket, and then you can make it a tuck. Okay, so that's what I'm doing with these highly stacked quarter pocket fold things. So I've collected up quite a bit of pre-made ephemera that was all made from a specific pad and or stuff that I thought would go with this particular calendar booklet. I have used some of this in here, so I think I'm also going to fold this pocket. And we might get some of these used. So I have all of these. pockets from the pocket bin that I just cleared out. And I'm trying to remember, I think this is the front. You might remember this. This was an accordion calendar. Okay. I made this accordion book out of this, and I made these little flip out envelopes with cards. Okay. That one doesn't happen to have a calendar picture. For some reason, I didn't have 12 thumbnails. But anyway, now the idea still is to make a cover for this, but I used a lot of this pad's paper. If anybody's interested, I don't know if they still sell this at Walmart, but this is the pad, Modern Millinery. And it's double-sided paper. So Walmart's where I got it. But anyway, neither here nor there. So I made this, and like this is a pocket, and I've got this little flip. But I have all these pages to decorate. Oh, here we've got one. Okay, let's find something that we can put on here. I don't know that I would do, no, definitely not same. What about pink? Do we like that? Like that? Nope, don't like that either. This might be a hard one, guys. Maybe this side, though. Because polka dots lend themselves to being decorated with flowers. Got to keep this side in mind. Just in respect to the fact that you don't want it to clash too bad. I mean, I'm not saying it has to match, but I don't want it to clash. See, on here, I don't mind that. Let's try the pink one, because I have two of these. Does the pink clash? I feel like the pink clashes. I knew this was going to happen, guys. I knew I was going to come on here with this grandiose idea, and I wasn't going to be able to find anything that worked, and it was going to upset me. This is why I'm struggling to use these pieces, by the way. Because they are... like I have an idea, and I'm like, oh, go really good in here. And then I go to try to use it, and... oh, wait, it doesn't go really good in there. I wonder if I could make a belly band. Do we not like the burgundy with the red? Or do we not care? Because this might be kind of fun. So basically you would put this here and this here. Ooh. Nope, they're not tall enough. They're not tall enough to overlap. Although, I could make them taller if I fold their flaps down differently. What if I go like that for the bottom one? And then glue them together like that. Okay. What do you think? I think that's kind of cool. All right, let's go with it. So basically what I'm going to do is lift this flap up. And I'm going to mark here where I need the glue to go to. I'm going to glue these together. So again, we're trying. They're still messing with my dog. It might just be my husband messing with my dog. I think everybody else is gone. Okay. So like that. Get that in the right. Do we get the right length on that? Oh. All right, let's try this again. So this has got to be here. I'm going to go up another glue stripe and try again. And I guess I'll wipe off anything I don't cover up. Okay, and this has got to be the bottom of the page. Yeah? Did we get it that time? I think we got it that time. Okay, try that again. And then that's under the flap. And then this flap comes up. And you've got a pocket and a pocket and a belly band. So we just glue this down. And then we've got ourselves an interactive little belly band guy here to go on our page. And I used 2 pieces of ephemera. Okay, this is me using pre-made ephemera, guys. All right, here we go again. It's the red again, though. I don't know. Oh, and if I open it up, it's this exact same. I don't think I like that. What about this one? This one opens the other way. Oh, well, I suppose it just depends on how you glue it down. That might be okay on there. Now, for this one, I'm going to glue it down along the back and the bottom, and it's going to be a tuck so that I can put something big and wider than the piece in there. So this is going to go across here like this. Like that. And we'll get that all glued in. Honestly, I thought this would be the last one I would use because there's not really a sewing theme in this book. But, I mean, whatever works. Okay, and then you can open up this flap, glue down here. And then you got a tuck here. And you got a pocket here. And you got a little tuck here. A little booklet. This has got a piece on it. I don't know that I would put anything else on here. I feel like that would be asking for too much. Okay, and then we've got this back page. Now this is going to be on the cover. So open that out. This could go on here as a tuck and be a pocket. Now this is going to be a little harder just because this is the back page and this is just paper, but eventually a cover is going to be glued on here. So I'm not worried about it holding up to the heaviness of the card being put on it because it's going to get reinforced. So we're going to go along here. And across the bottom. And again, it's going to be a tuck. I like, for stuff like this, I like them better as tucks than pockets. Just because I feel like it allows you more leeway when you go to put something in it. Okay, I'm going to close this and smush it this way. And pray that I don't get it all over the page. I lost my, there it is. All right. And there, I got it all over the page. I don't really have any way to, I'm afraid to tear it. Let's try this. Okay, sorry about that, guys. If you let the excess glue dry in there, it's permanent. So if you don't want it, you got to move it. Okay. Not necessarily. I put a belly band on here, and this is the back side. Okay, so this is the back side of this. I have a belly band here. I'm not sure. No, this book, you know what? We just have to fill the book, but I think it could just sit in this belly band. Okay, and then I could put, is that too much? I feel like if I'm going to put something, because of the way I cut that to fit that fold, it needs to be here. I also wonder if this isn't a good place to sew pages. Well, I'm going to put this on here. And if worse comes to worse, I can just decorate this up to match the other side and kind of, you know, fix it in the decorating, as they say. Okay, so this is going to go on this corner. And I'll probably put flowers and lace and stuff on this. Maybe I'll make a little fabric cluster or something. I don't know. That's what takes me the longest. Once I get them put together, what takes me the longest is decorating and stuffing. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe you all have the same problem. That's got a belly band. That's got the other half of that belly band on it. This is good writing. It's lines. This. Ooh, that's a good place for this. That's a really good place for this. Okay. Not that I wanted them this close together, but like I said, we're using up ephemera. And after I get this one glued down, guys, I'm going to let you go. But this was my idea because I was going through the pockets and, you know, my other ephemera stuff, I was noticing things that I made out of this pad that I used in this calendar book. And I was like, you know what? I'm working on that calendar book again, and this would make great. This would be the one place where I can use the pre-made ephemera because it's almost like it was made for this book because it's made out of the same pad. Let's do like we did before. I'm going to close the page and do this because this is the side I can push on. Okay, and then we'll open it back up and you've got a tuck. And of course you can decorate it up and, you know, whatever, but there's a tuck with a pocket and a pocket. Okay, and then I've got a few more to check out. Again, that's good writing space. Here's polka dots. I can find something over here to go on this page. Thanks for hanging out with me in in the process of our cleanup. We are clearing things out, repurposing things that we want to, you know, find a way to use, don't want to throw away. And we're just kind of making a dent in all of the things that have been gathered over time. I hope that it, you know, helps you with ideas for what to do with stuff that you've got sitting in a basket that you don't know what to do with, because that's where I'm at. I have all this ephemera sitting around and no clue what to do with it. So yeah, here we are. Again, thanks for stopping by. God bless you for being here. And I hope that you guys will come back and see me. Hopefully the next video you see will be, I don't know. It's either going to be, I mean, I'm working on those accordions. I might bring you back for the kitten books one more time to work on filling them up. But for the most part, I was trying to wait until they were done because I'm at that point where it's putting them together and then finding ways to put stuff in the pockets. And that is a process for me. So to make a video out of that, I mean, I can spend all day on one book sitting up here trying to create things to fit in each pocket. But I prefer doing it that way. I prefer making the ephemera as I go. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm still figuring things out. So I may find a better way to do that in the future. I am really excited to be doing this with you guys, and I hope you'll come back and see me as we continue to clean out my craft room and make space. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye, guys.